Welcome to Melody Memoirs, where we delve into the lives of music legends and the stories that shaped their greatest hits. Today we explore the captivating and tumultuous life of Pattie Boyd, a woman who was not only a muse, but also a wife to two of rock's most iconic figures, George Harrison of the Beatles and Eric Clapton. In her autobiography, Wonderful Tonight, Pattie shares an intimate look at her life, filled with love, betrayal, and personal growth. This video will take you through her journey, highlighting the highs and lows of her marriages, the lessons she learned, and her path to self-discovery. During the 60s and 70s, cultural and social revolutions were reshaping the world. Pattie Boyd was at the heart of this change, influencing some of the most legendary music of the time. As the inspiration behind songs like Something and Layla, her impact on rock history is undeniable. Marriage to George Harrison. The beginning. Wedding and early years. Pattie Boyd and George Harrison met on the set of the Beatles film A Hard Day's Night in 1964. Their connection was instant, and George proposed to Pattie on their first date. They married on January 21, 1966, at the Epsom Register Office. The early years of their marriage were filled with joy and excitement, as they navigated life amidst the global phenomenon of Beatlemania. Their wedding was a modest affair, attended by close friends and family. Despite the simplicity, it marked the beginning of a union that would see incredible highs and heartbreaking lows. George's bandmates were present, and the atmosphere was filled with love and hope for the future. The ceremony reflected their genuine connection and shared values, but it also foreshadowed the complexities they would face. The influence of meditation. In 1968, George and Pattie traveled to India to study meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, marking a significant turning point in their relationship. George's growing interest in spirituality and meditation became a central part of his life, but it also created distance between him and Pattie. The couple's differing levels of commitment to their spiritual practices led to misunderstandings and emotional estrangement. Their time in India was a blend of enlightenment and tension. While George found a deeper spiritual connection, Pattie struggled to keep pace, feeling increasingly alienated. Episodes of infidelity and tension. As George immersed himself deeper into meditation, his emotional availability to Pattie diminished. This period was marked by several instances of infidelity on George's part. Boyd recounts painful moments of discovering George's affairs and the tension it brought into their marriage. In her autobiography, Wonderful Tonight, Pattie Boyd recounts the devastating moment she discovered George Harrison's infidelity with a French woman during their time in France. She vividly describes the scene. "I sat on the bed shaking, tears streaming down my face. I felt like a complete and utter fool." This episode added tremendous emotional strain to their already troubled marriage, leading Pattie to confront George. "I confronted him, but he simply brushed me off, accusing me of being paranoid," she recalls. The betrayal was a significant blow to Pattie, marking a painful chapter in their relationship. Influence of other women. The affair between George Harrison and Maureen Starkey, the wife of his close friend and fellow Beatle Ringo Starr, was a critical blow to Pattie Boyd. This betrayal led Pattie to question her self-worth and the future of their marriage. Pattie reflects on this painful period, stating, "She was the last person I would have expected to stab me in the back, but she did." This revelation marked a turning point, making her feel that there was no room for her in the marriage. She described the situation as ludicrous, and added, "I felt that there was no room for me in this ludicrous situation we'd all find ourselves in. Everyone behaving badly, really. It was a mess." Ultimately, the affair contributed significantly to the dissolution of her marriage with George, leading her to leave him and eventually move in with Eric Clapton. Pattie's personal reaction and feelings. Pattie describes feeling increasingly isolated and unloved during this period. Her attempts to reconcile and communicate with George often fell on deaf ears, leading to a sense of helplessness and despair. She struggled with the conflicting emotions of wanting to support George's spiritual journey while also needing his affection and attention. The breaking point. The final straw came when George's infidelity with Maureen became undeniable. Pattie realized that she could no longer stay in a marriage where she felt neglected and betrayed. In 1974, she made the difficult decision to leave George, marking the end of their marriage but the beginning of her path to self-discovery. Leaving George was not an easy step for Pattie. "I loved him deeply, but I could no longer stay in a marriage where I felt so utterly alone," she admits. The separation was a tumultuous time, filled with both relief and grief as she began to reclaim her identity and happiness. Relationship with Eric Clapton. The beginning of their relationship. Eric Clapton's love for Pattie began while she was still married to George. The legendary moment when Eric Clapton played Layla for Pattie Boyd not only revealed his deep feelings for her, but also set the stage for their future together. Eric had already expressed his romantic interest to Pattie before unveiling the song that would become a rock anthem. According to Pattie, Eric played the song for her multiple times, asking for her opinion afterward. She recalled being utterly captivated. "I was absolutely blown away. It was so passionate, so full of longing and pain." Before this dramatic musical declaration, Eric had written Pattie an anonymous letter expressing his love. Initially, she mistook it for a fan's letter, but a subsequent phone call from Eric revealed he was the author. This candid admission, combined with the raw emotion of Layla, made it clear that Eric's feelings were profound and sincere. Eric's boldness reached a peak at a party where both he and George Harrison were present. In a charged moment, Eric openly confessed his love for Pattie directly to George. Pattie described the scene. Eric said to George, "I'm in love with your wife." This confrontation was not just a declaration but a challenge, laying bare the complex emotions and the impending turmoil it would cause. Early years of marriage, joy and challenges. Pattie and Eric married in 1979, beginning a new chapter filled with both joyous and challenging moments. Eric's adoration for Pattie was evident in his music, with songs like Layla and Wonderful Tonight being direct tributes to her. These songs became anthems of their love, but behind the music, their relationship faced significant obstacles. Struggles with alcoholism and infidelity. Eric's battle with alcoholism was a major challenge in their marriage. Pattie describes the difficulty of living with someone who was often drunk and unpredictable. The emotional weight of Clapton's lifestyle began to take a toll on their marriage. Clapton's struggle with substance abuse and his infidelities greatly impacted Pattie. One infamous episode involved Clapton taking Pattie to dinner and casually revealing that he had impregnated another woman, a revelation that left Pattie feeling as if she'd been stabbed in the heart. Despite the intense emotional pain, Pattie initially tried to make the marriage work, mainly due to her desire to have a family. The situation worsened as Eric's new child with another woman highlighted Pattie's own struggles with infertility. The hardships of touring life. The demands of Eric's career, particularly the constant touring, added another layer of complexity to their marriage. The long periods of separation, combined with Eric's substance abuse, created an unstable and often lonely environment for Pattie. She recounts feeling like a secondary priority to his career and addictions, the evolution and end of their relationship. Despite the challenges, Pattie and Eric's relationship had moments of deep connection and love. However, the cumulative weight of alcoholism, infidelity, and career pressures eventually led to their separation. They divorced in 1989, closing another chapter of Pattie's life marked by both profound love and significant pain. The legal proceedings of the divorce. The legal battle that ensued was characterized by typical divorce complexities magnified by Clapton's significant wealth and their celebrity status. As Clapton's drinking got worse, Pattie found herself in an increasingly untenable situation. On her 43rd birthday, she finally announced their separation. According to sources, Pattie described being terrified when Eric, in a fit of rage, burst into her room, accused her of being a bad wife, and threw her belongings out the window. This incident was a significant trigger that pushed her to leave, marking a crucial turning point that began the divorce process. During the divorce proceedings, Pattie, feeling lost and confused, with no career prospects or money, and was forced to rely on friends for a place to stay temporarily. The divorce settlement ultimately provided her with the means to start anew, but it wasn't an easy journey. Reassessing the past and learning lessons. Rebuilding her life. After the divorce post-divorce, Pattie faced the monumental task of rebuilding her life. Initially, she described herself as having no confidence and crying at the slightest provocation. She had to rediscover her identity, separate from being Mrs. Eric Clapton or Mrs. George Harrison. Fortunately, Pattie found solace and purpose in photography, a passion she had nurtured during her modeling days. Embracing photography more seriously, she took classes, attended lectures, and joined the Royal Photographic Society. Gradually, Pattie began to get work from magazines, finding a new avenue of success and fulfillment. This career shift allowed her to channel her experiences and emotions into a creative outlet, helping her to heal and regain her sense of self-worth. Personal growth and reflection. Pattie's journey wasn't just about rebuilding her career. It was also about personal growth and self-reflection. She stayed close to family and friends, which provided her with a support network during this challenging time. Eventually, she was able to forgive her ex-husbands and maintain friendships with them. For instance, Eric would occasionally take her out to lunch, and they remained amicable despite their troubled past. Eric's eventual sobriety also played a role in their renewed friendship. However, another significant emotional blow came when Eric informed Pattie about the tragic death of his son Connor from his relationship with another woman during their marriage. Impact of childhood experiences on adult life. Pattie's childhood experiences played a significant role in shaping her adult relationships. She explores how her upbringing influenced her perceptions of love and self-worth. By understanding these connections, Pattie was able to heal old wounds and develop a healthier outlook on life and relationships. Lessons learned and moving forward. Reflecting on her tumultuous marriages, Pattie often cited Jane Asher's response to Paul McCartney's Infidelity as a missed opportunity for herself. Asher had immediately moved out and held her ground, something Pattie wished she had done. Instead of leaving George for Eric, she now feels she should have fought for her first marriage more assertively. She acknowledges that lacking the self-confidence to stand up for herself, she allowed infidelities and drunken rages to diminish her self-worth. Summing up Pattie's current state today, Pattie Boyd is a successful photographer and an inspiring figure who has triumphed over her past hardships. She has found peace and happiness, focusing on her passions and personal well-being. Her story, as told in Wonderful Tonight, is not just a tale of two famous marriages, but a narrative of personal strength and resilience. If you found Pattie's story as captivating and inspiring as we did, make sure to subscribe to our channel Melody Memoirs. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the lives of the people behind the music that has shaped generations. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.